This is the prerequisite review for section 2.6, transformations of graphs. In this worksheet, we are going to graph linear equations in two variables. We will be graphing both horizontal and vertical lines. So let's go ahead and take a look at number 1. As you can see, we will look at each one of these cases and decide how we're going to graph. In this case, as you can see, the slope is -3, and that would be a -3 over 1. We could also have a 3 over -1 when we are looking at our slope, change in y over change in x. We can now see that the y-intercept is -3. So using both of those, let's go ahead and put the y-intercept here at -3. And maybe this grid is off just a little bit. 1, 2, 3. The numbers on the grid are off a little. And here we will go up 3 and to the left 1. We could also go down 3 and to the right 1. You only need 2 points though. So you were not required to use both of those points that I just plotted. So I'm just going to draw this line through those 3 points. And there we have our line. Okay, let's go ahead and look at number 2. As you can see in number 2, we are going to go ahead and write that down here. 2x minus 3y equals 6. I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. I have a -3y equals a -2x plus 6. I will divide every term by a -3, and we end up with y equals a positive 2/3 x minus 2. So that's what we are going to be graphing. We do have a slope of 2/3 and a y-intercept of -2. So we'll go ahead and go to -2 on our graph, and we will go up 2 to the right 3. And we will just draw our graph like that. Looking at number 3, again, we are in standard form. We can move off to the right a little bit, and we can go ahead and subtract 4x. And we have 2y equals -4x plus 8. And then we will divide every term by a 2. We end up with y equals a -2x plus 4. And as you can see, we now have a slope of -2, -2 over 1, and a y-intercept of 4. We will go down 2 and to the right 1. Again, you could go up 2, walk up 2, and to the left 1. So either one of those work just fine. And we just have this very nice graph. Okay, moving on to number 4. Here we are in slope-intercept form already. And I probably should have written that here. This is our standard form. We were in slope-intercept form here in number 1, and we were standard in number 2. So if we are in slope-intercept form here, we notice that we have a slope of -3/5, and we can have -3 divided by 5, and we have a y-intercept of -2. So we can go to -2, And we can go walk down 3, 1, 2, 3, and to the right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there we just have this line with a negative slope. Okay, let's go ahead, and that was slope intercept, and just continue in that same manner. Again, we're in slope intercept form. We have a slope of negative 1/2. Let's go ahead and go down 1 to the right 2, and we have a y-intercept of 3. And I could probably take that and bring that down about like that. And so we'll go ahead and go to y equals 3 and down 1 to the right 2. Okay. Now let's go ahead and take a look at number 6. We are in slope-intercept form. We can go ahead and say we have a slope of 1/4 and a y-intercept of negative 2. So up 1 to the right 4. So this just gives us a lot of practice, not just graphing, but also recognizing the slope and the y-intercept given that equation. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 7. And here we want to keep in mind, we want to say x is always 4. And we could do the same for each, but let's talk about this. If x is always 4, we really don't care what the y value is. And we do have a vertical line. So keep in mind that when we have x equals some number, that means we have a vertical line. And that also means that the slope is undefined. So will we have the same case here? Yes. We have a vertical line and the slope is undefined. And here x is always negative 1. Now, how about y? And let me just kind of circle this. I might even write that here. X is always negative 1. Okay, and now we have y is always, 2. So y is always 2. There's a y equal to 2. There's a y equal to 2. So we can see that we have a horizontal line. So if you have y equals a number, that means you have a horizontal line. And in this case, our slope is 0. Likewise, we have y is always negative 3. And again, we have y equals a number. That leads us to a horizontal line. And we know that that line has slope of 0. So y equals a negative 3. 1, 2, 3. And we have this horizontal line. At negative 3. Okay. That concludes this PRW section.